Hello everyone. I'm level 36 and welcome back to Stationeers. In today's episode, we're going to finish setting up our weather station and we're going to start working on getting our things from our checklist completed. So, to do this, especially for the weather station, I wanted to play around with that new mod that I mentioned, the modular consoles mod. I kind of already tried recording this and realized I didn't quite have it installed correctly, so I did make a couple of the bits. They're all just made in the electronics printer. So if we just look up console, you can see our modular consoles, our displays, inputs, and label plates. I don't know what this is, but I think it's fine. I didn't really look up a guide for this, so we're just going to kind of figure it out as we go, like I do with most things. So I printed out a couple of these module consoles, and we're just going to get started. So for our weather station, my vision is something pretty small, like it doesn't need to be fancy. We're just going to build one of these, and then we want something up on the wall to display the information. So if we just do like console flats. So what I still don't understand is why these can't be placed like next to each other. Okay, so it can be placed next to it that way, but just not above it. It's a little strange. I thought that was... Let's see if we can find a different console that might work a little better. So we want... There's so many variants of these. So base 6 has a little thing on the top. So it looks like it should work. So if we place that, and then we go to these things, is it just that we need to rotate it until we find the right one? It really... Oh, there's a cable in the way. I'm like, why doesn't it want to get placed? There's a cable in the way. Let's grab my wire cutters and run outside real quick so we can deconstruct this cable from when I was going to just use the simple little LED consoles. Alright. All better now. Because I think these tile, which is kind of pretty nice. Yes, they do. So we're going to put that there. So now we have a little area down here to push buttons and a little area up here to display things. Hopefully that's enough. And speaking of displaying those things, we just kind of want to display the time till the next storm. So we're going to put that up on top. And then we're going to want a console input. We're going to want a button to say we're all good. Emergency button. Tiles. There's a bunch of different stuff, which is really nice. Big lever. Number pads. Access card readers. But we're going to be alright. Just a utility button like this. I think that should be fine. Oh, we can even name it. Nice. We're also going to need an IC. And IC... I need solder for that. IC housing. So the goal with this is we're going to read the time till the next storm onto this thing here. We have a button to say, hey, we're all good. You might want some lights to say like, hey, there's a storm in the next day, storm in the next, hour or in-game hour. let's just start with the basics and see how this all works. And we're also going to need to label. We want to label this as tech for silence. So this is going to silence the alarm. Because we're going to have an alarm. It's going to be outside because there's no pressure in here, so there, you can't hear anything in here. Cabling. Let's just see. Oh, put tools back where they go. If we just cycle through these. Yeah, silence was on there. So that's the button. That's cool. That's LED display 2 or 3. Oh, we can just relocate these by pulling them off. We don't need a tool. Or, oh no, we need the screwdriver. Alright, so let's actually set this to LED display 3. Let's set this to silence. And let's set... Actually, I kind of want... No, that's fine. We use names anyway. We need the weather station. Yeah, there we go. Then as far as our laptop goes, we're gonna save this as our checklist. And this is gonna be how to post checklist. And then we're gonna clear this out. Kind of standard bits, alias, our display as R0, as silence as, or not R, D1, yes, weather as D2. All right, so that's our devices for now. We're going to do setup and then main. And then yield, J, main. So I guess the first part is for the weather station. We need to actually see what the outputs are, and the outputs are that the next weather event time. So for now, we're just going to load into R0 from weather, the next weather event time. Then we're going to set the display setting. I think it's setting LED. Oh, these even integrate into Stationpedia. That's pretty awesome. The setting is just going to be equal to R0. Let's just see what this says. Drop that in there, export, grab it, drop it in there, do that. Nothing. Setting was the wrong value, I suspect. Let's try that ghost haunted laptop. Let's try. Oh, here's the mode. we're going to need to set the mode to 7. That might help. So we're going to set display mode 7. Might be a little bit high, but we'll just see how it goes. Zero. It worked, but it didn't actually get anything. So let's also just set db, which is self, setting to R0. It's just a 0. Is the weather station not reading? Burns the seconds when the next weather event is inbound. Is it not, like, on? Should be. Is there another button I forgot to push? It looks on. Maybe there's no weather event inbound right now, so there's nothing to read. I mean, we did just have a storm, so that kind of would make sense. Be nice if it would tell me what that's what's going on. I might just have to look this up real quick because the guide in the game is kind of lacking. So one moment, please. All right. I was right. Well, sort of. There's no event coming in. So the light actually means something. If it's green, that means no weather event is incoming. If it's yellow, that means one is incoming and there will be a countdown for it. If it's red, well, it be a storm. So to fully test this, we're going to need to wait for a storm, but we can do some logicking first, because while it's not the words, while we don't have a storm right now, we can still set this up the way we want it to be set up, because I do kind of want a little bit more, because it also tells us the next storm's type when a storm is detected. So let's grab a console. I want 2 label plates because I wanted it to tell me what type of storm is coming, how long till the next storm, and then let me kind of acknowledge a little alarm. So we're going to have a label plate. So we're going to put one there and one right above it. We're going to have some LEDs. Not really going to center nicely, is it? Let's see if we can kind of adjust this. I guess that'll do. labeler. So this is going to be our ash storm. This is going to be solar storm. Light ash storm. Light solar storm. And then if we just set up these, we're going to set this to light ash storm, light solar storm, and then we're going to do probably one more thing outside, but we can do that in a moment. So we have this all set up. Actually, let's just do that. Let's do a speaker. I don't actually know how much warning this thing gives us at all, so we'll see. It is in the number of seconds, so hopefully it gives us a decent amount. So now, let's grab that, and we're going to set this up. So we're going to do alias ash light is going to be, I think, D3. Is that right? Yep. Solar light is D4. Speaker is D5. Cool. We don't have to do any batch writes, at least not yet. So we're going to set display blur mean. Actually, we're not going to do that yet. We're going to set speaker volume on 100 because we want it to be loud. Let's see what our LED options are. Console displays. We want our light diode small. We do have a color, so we're going to set these to red, which is 4. Set ash light color for set solar light color for And that should be everything, I think. So now if we go down here, if we read, I think, the mode from the weather station. Yeah, the modes do actually have a list here. So we're gonna, this is fine up here. This is just gonna get the time till next event. Then down here, we're gonna do actually, first off, let's just do the mode detection. So load into R0 from weather, the mode. Branch EQ. If mode is equal to 0, we're going to branch to main. We're going to move our yield statement up to the top. If I could ever spell yield correctly, that'd be great. So this way, we're not running a bunch of operations that we don't really need to run. If the system's just in like, hey, everything's chill. Then we're going to do a storm detected mode. So branch EQ R0 is equal to 1. And do storm detected. So in storm detected, what we're going to do is get the time till the next weather event. We're going to then load into R0 weather. Hydration critical. Let's quickly just pause the game in the background real quick. We're going to get the next weather hash value. Then we are going to, there's only two types. Venus or Vulcan, we're on Vulcan, is the only planet I believe that currently has two different types of storm. There's the solar storm and the ash storm. So I do have these hashes available to me so I can kind of detect it. So what we'll do is branch relative or branch EQ, branch relative, what is it? Branch relative Q. Not searching, so it's just not. The game have to be playing for search to work. It does. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, branch relative equal. That's what I thought. Branch relative EQ. So if R0 is equal to that, which is the hash of the solar storm value, we're going to jump over 1, 2, 3 lines. So here we're going to set so that is if the solar storm is detected, we're going to jump over this. We're going to set the ash light on 1, then jump 3. This way, essentially, we're just hopping over this. So 1, 2, 3, or jump relative. Then here, we're going to set solar light on 1. This should only actually be 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. And we'll just leave some extra space in here. Eh. Um, and then that should be good. Let's just confirm right that. Still no storm. There's an error. Device not found. That's right. We gotta set this to our speaker. Then grab some water. Oh, I do hope everyone is having a good day. I know this is going to be kind of a more boring episode of just working on some scripting, but, you know, I figure maybe some of you appreciate a good scripting tutorial every once in a while. Not really tutorial, it's me stumbling through how to figure out how to do it. But, you know, same difference.
Air tank low.
There we go. See if this is happier now. No, those are on by default. Nice if the storm would start coming so we could actually see this work. Maybe we'll put this on pause for a second while we wait for some other stuff to build, like our deep drills. Because I did say that was another thing we were going to do today, was get these working. Steel electrum invar. We're kind of running low on electrum. I don't know. Here's my invar. There it is. Well, this should make some of them. That's going to need to run for a hot minute, so we'll just let that do that in the background while we're working on this again. So first off, during setup, let's also turn our lights off. Set hash lights on 0. Set solar light on 0. All right. Let's also put down here storm in progress. The timer, I don't think so. The time till next weather event, I don't think indicates the time of the current weather event. So like current storm in progress, I don't think it's going to show a time. Maybe. Guess we'll have to see. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I don't see anything. So storm in progress is just going to be like nothing, essentially. We really only care if a storm is detected or not. Um, so, but we might still do some things. Or we could just see what happens if we just do this. Um, so this is our lights code. Then what we want to do is we're going to define a time till speaker. Um, we'll say this is going to be, let's do 240 seconds. So let's actually load this into R1. Get type of event there. So here, what we're going to do, let's see, we can just leave this alone. Let's actually just work up here because we can just do this up here. We're going to actually move this down below. So what we want to do is we're going to create a function. This is going to be warning off. If neither of these are true, we're going to just jump and return, not jump, return, right? Jump and save our position to warning off. And in here, we're just going to set the speaker on 0, set ash light on 0, set solar light on 0. So that's all three of those off. And then we can also just set our display on 0. Save a tiny bit of power by just turning that off. And then in our storm detected code, we're we're going to branch, or no, we're going to branch relative less than, relative less than, um, if, or no, greater than. We want branch relative greater than if R1 is greater than our warning seconds. So this, we're going to skip over this completely by just going, or let's just do, we don't need to do this relatively. We could just branch greater than to event type. Here we're going to, this is turning into spaghetti code. We're going to set speaker to on and set our display color to, we had this at some point. Our display 3, our color is going to be 4 for red. What if we just do color dot? That does, okay, that works. There we go. And then we're going to also just copy this down into our arm off. So the speaker is going to come on, the display is going to go red, and then we're going to just carry on. Otherwise, we're just going to skip over this. Next event type is going to be, so this is this spaghetti string right here. Now, this will technically work, but we want to have this acknowledge button so we don't have the alarm blaring whenever it's on. So they need a latch of some sort that only runs once. Oh boy. So we want the silence button to just turn the speaker off because I don't want to hear it if I don't have to. We still have not had a storm come by. Cool. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. 5. We just need one more deep minor. And we did this with a button. I wonder if we instead used a flip switch or a big lever. The setting can only be red. What about the flip switch? switch which can be turned on. Let's just try the big lever. If we grab a just for funsies. So we'll have this flip up when the storm is detected. And then when the storm actually happens, it'll shut itself off. Or when it's... Yeah, so when we're in our main mode here, when warning off happens, we're going to set silence, whatever I actually named it. Silence. Open. 0. And then in here, we need to only once. This is the problem because we're looping through this every, half second game tick. We only want to do this once, and then we don't want it to happen again. So when we turn it on, we're going to need a register for this. We're going to alias latch R10. So there's only going to be 2 points when R10 gets set. First point R10 gets set is going to be right here. So the latch, so if the latch is 0, or if the latch is 1, we're going to skip 2 lines. All this is going to do is just move into latch 1. So this is the only place that latch is going to get set to 1. So this is saying, hey, we've set the latch. And while we're here, we're just going to skip 3 lines. We're going to set our silence open to 1 as well. And then get rid of that. Branch. Relative EQ. So what we want to see is, so this is the only time the latch, so latch 1, this is the only place where silence is going to set to 1. So branch relative equal if, or we need to get the value actually. So load from silence A. I know it's A. Whatever. It's program. doesn't matter if it's load into R2, islands open. So branch relative equal if R2 is equal to 1 or equal to 0, we're going to skip a couple lines, like 3. Here we're going to set speaker on 1. That should be all. Then down in here, we're going to move latch 0. So warning off, once this runs, we're going to reset the latch. So latch is 1, silence is open. Then we do this. We get if silence is open. If it is, we're going to do this. If not, we're going to skip this. Actually, no, we don't even need to do this. We can just set the speaker to R2. In theory, this should work. In theory, this should work all the time. It's resetting. No storm yet. We're resetting because we're constantly doing warning off. If I just kind of comment that off real quick. Oh, we're not running that because it's not in the state where it needs to be to do the thing that it needs to do. I don't remember which alarm is which. We'll have to fiddle with that. I need a storm. Oh, man. We can turn it on and off, though, right? Yeah, we can. Uncomment that out, and then... in theory, this all should work now. I have no clue if it does, but that's the theory. It's a mess, but we're gonna have to wait for a storm to really know if my mess is working or not. But let's focus on the other goal of today, which was starting to get ready to move some stuff over to building a bigger and better base. So let's kind of clean up my storage here. Okay. So we have 5 of these. We wanted 6. We need some more electrum to build the last one. Combustion centrifuge. We need 2 of these. We'll We'll just save this for now. So library, probably bad. Weather station. I'll copy that in. Copy this out. All right. So we've got 5 of these. These aren't complete yet. So we'll wait for these. I kind of want some cardboard boxes too, because I think I can box up a bunch of this stuff just to make it a little easier. Of course, when I want to work on the weather station, we don't have any weather. Figures. One of those. Also need some new filters. I just realized mine are pretty much dead. Let's actually just feed these to the recycler. Feed you to the centrifuge. Come on. I've never... Oh! Wait, no. It didn't turn yellow. The motion blur made it look yellow for a second. I've never been this excited for something that ultimately comes in and destroys my stuff. Alright, there's our 2 combustion centrifuges. We need silos. We're gonna need a bunch of these. I just need gold. So let's just make a cardboard box. How much can a cardboard box hold? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. And a large cardboard box can hold 9. Cool. This is just going to be deep miners. What do I actually need for more electrum? Gold and silver. Do I have silver? I thought I had silver somewhere. So I know I've got some gold kicking around. Oh yeah, there's some silver. Let's see, do I have gold I can spare? Yeah, I do.
Hydration critical.
Let's do one of you. One of you. Electrum. Pressure just seems to be way down. And electrum. There we go. This will be our deep miners and our combustion centrifuges done. That'll be nice. Then we'll need some silos. Can label this as deep miners. We got our box of deep miners. Still no storm. No, I could use a console command to trigger a storm, but that doesn't feel genuine. We'll wait until we actually get one. I guess it makes sense that the it's not like always able to read the next storm. It just checks with a certain amount of time before the storm when it's able to predict it. Makes sense, even if I'm slightly disappointed. Now, the real question is, can we put cardboard boxes in cardboard boxes? Actually, I kind of wonder. I have another one over here. Oh, you can't. That's pain. That's sad. Alright. That's a box of deep miners. SDB, that's what it's called. This is going to be expensive. We just need 2 of them for this side, but we need more than 2 of them for the other side. No storm yet. Let's also check off these. We can scavenge both of these. I know we have them here right now, but we can take those. So we actually do have those. So total, we're going to need hydroponics. So we're going to need 18 in total. So hydroponic stations require just iron. I think all my iron's tied up in here. I don't have that much iron left. Oh no, I do. There we go. 1 silo. Let's start making hydroponics trays. No storm yet. Five. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need to do some mining to get all these resources. What I'll probably do is, I'm sure no one wants to really see me sit here and wait for printers to print and to go mining. So I will do my best to gather all of the stuff that I know is on this list. And then in the next episode, after I have all that together, we'll actually like go look for the location and figure out how we're gonna actually build this stuff. Oh, I'm an iron. Dang it. There's 2. Now, I kind of wanted like 6, but we'll stop there for now, just in case we actually need something else. We also need an auto lathe. I remember putting that on there. Man, those things take forever to build. Still a green light, so... And we're at pretty much time, so, you know, this was maybe not the most exciting of episodes, watching me spaghetti string code some stuff together. We'll quickly, while we're here, just seal these up into their final states and go and not die of thirst. But yeah, I do hope you've enjoyed. If you have, drop a like, a subscribe, all that good stuff. I always appreciate that. And I will hopefully get this all set up and ready to go. Obviously, I'll record in case anything interesting happens leading up to that. Hopefully nothing terribly interesting happens. Interesting usually means bad in experience with state. But things seem to be fairly stable here at this point. So I doubt anything terribly weird is going to happen. That dude's mood is terrible, right? Which is probably why I'm going through so much water. But yeah, it's just going to be a whole bunch of mining, a whole bunch of printing, and then we'll get all of these materials put together so that I can check off everything on this checklist, and we can go out and build ourselves an outpost. We're going to need a lot of stuff. I'm going to need a lot of steel. There's going to be a lot of mining, but I will spare you the boring parts of all of this. Yay, another auto lathe. And we need the mod for it. I don't know if I have that stuff. Let's see. Do I have enough electrum still? No, don't spit it out. I want to just check off one more thing before I go. And I know I have this stuff, so... Ah, these take forever. I'm going to check it off. I have it done. Yay! Auto lathe. So yeah, I'm just going to do a whole bunch of that. Hopefully the weather station works, and I can gather all of these materials, box them up all into little tiny cardboard boxes, so that hopefully, once we're ready to go, we can fly around and try and find a viable location that gives us the resources that we want. So, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next week. Have a wonderful rest of your day.